And welcome to One Stop Co-op The one time we don't have a cold start.
I didn't say anything this time. I figure this was a very worthy thing for this episode.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Welcome everybody. This is our co-op chat. We've got Derrick from Candy Studios and Bairnt from Meet Me at the Table here. This is our weekly chat talking about various board game topics, generally with a cooperative focus. We got a lot of friends here today.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jan. Nice to see you here. Hey, Steph. Hi, how's it going? Hey, Yogi Bear. Hey, thanks a lot for the super chat. Really appreciate it. It's gonna help a lot.
Yeah. Make sure you hit, smash, and destroy the like button.
That's right.
Like you just don't care.
Or what's the old radio adage? Turn it up and rip the knob off.
There you go.
11. Turn it to 11.
Turn it to 11.
Hey, Snow. Nice to see you. Hey, Matthew. How's it going?
We have
Chris?
quite a crew today here. It's awesome to see everybody in the chat. Wow, so many people
G-Golly
here.
Chris. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is amazing. So we all are here for the
horrible board games.
We're all here for the horrible topic.
The inevitable of a board game collector that eventually, once you get into, when you start the hobby and you go, I got nothing, I got to get them all too. Oh wow, where am I going to put them?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? Okay, cool. All right. As you've already hinted at, we're going to be talking about culling games today. So we're going to probably hit two topics on this one. One being
before we jump into that one, Steve, I want to give a shout out to Janet. Janet was the one who came up with this topic for us to ask. So thank you, Janet.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. We always accept topics like that.
We actually usually take your topics because we usually don't have enough energy to figure out a topic. I'm kidding. I am totally kidding.
Generally, the viewers have better ideas than we do. Let's put it that way.
Sorry, Steve, for the interruption. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Speaking of interruptions.
Wow, you're amazing, Derrick. You actually apologize for interrupting. I usually just interrupt him like that. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
No worries. But speaking of interruptions, I think we've got some hurricane weather where I'm at, so if the stream does randomly die, we might have lost power. But hopefully that's not gonna happen. So we'll see.
I expect you to get on your phone and continue the conversation.
Okay.
Run it all through your phone. That would be a miracle. That would be like an engineering feat beyond anything that Steve has ever done.
Okay, I don't think I can even do that. So calling interrupted. Exactly. Hey, Jared, how's it going? All right, let's talk about culling games because I'm like Jared here. I struggle getting rid of games. I'm not gonna lie. So I've got a lot. I've got a culling pile. So that's for sure. But maybe we'll talk about how we go about figuring out how to cull. So.
Okay. All right. So just take it from the top. Okay. Take it from the top. For me, my okay, what am I gonna cull is directly proportional to what can fit on my Calyx shell. So I told myself I bought 3-ish, 3.5 2x4 Calyxes. And I said that when they are full and I cannot pack any more games on there, I need to cull. I don't want a bunch of games laying around on my floor. I always think about the last time, like when I moved and I had to move the board games. I said, okay, I need some sanity. So it is when those Calyx shelves become full and can no longer hold games, I need to cull games. That's for me on when.
I still remember moving, and we had a box labeled board games, and it was like, oh, a couple boxes of board games, and I remember Kim being like, oh, good, that's all the board games. I'm like, sure. And like, the more boxes come, like, you have more? I'm like, yep, that's it, right? Like, no. And so that was like the realization of how much stuff we actually had. So
I got lucky. We didn't move before I started collecting board games. I was already in this house.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah. So, but how do you determine when it's time to cull some games?
That's a great question. I have a
Robin
helped. I have a similar situation. She has started. She actually got me in the mindset at one point where she's like, where I decided I was going to buy something, and she's like, "Do we really need that? Maybe we could get rid of some of the board games to offset some of that." And I'm like, "Oh, because I could get some stuff for Dungeons and Dragons, and then some Dwarven Forge stuff." Which, if people don't know what Dwarven Forge is, it's like it's pretty high end type terrain company, right? And so I was going to get some for our D&D group, and she's like, maybe we could offset that. So I thought about it. I was like, that's not a bad idea, because I do have a lot of games that I have decided are not going to be played anymore. And it's mainly because I was keeping most of these because I was hoping my family or my kids or something along the line would be interested in playing some of these. But as time has gone on now, I have noticed as my kids are getting older that some of the games I have aren't going to be in their wheelhouse. And so I've decided that those are the ones that are probably going to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also, I'm in your situation. Once the floor is where I can't walk anymore,
It's time for a change.
I probably don't need 2 copies of Gloomhaven. I still have one up there, and I've got one over there.
Why do you have 2 copies?
Well, remember back then I was just putting stickers on things, and so I thought, I might want to play this again with somebody.
Gotcha.
Well, guess who hasn't wanted to play it with me? Anybody. Why I have 2, I don't know.
What did you learn?
Yeah. But not only that, the best part is I have the Sinister Fish stickers for the second copy. So do I really need the other one?
Jeez. No. So Steve, yours is what was yours again for
mine? I use 2 factors to help figure this out. Similar to you, Derek, I have 2 Calyx shelves. They're 5x5s in our basement. They're actually right behind me. The green screen's covering up. And kind of when those get filled up, and I actually have a couple other shelves in addition to that, just the smaller ones. But when those fill up, I'm like, okay, we need to think about getting rid of stuff. But I would say probably more often is I kind of operate a little bit on the Jones theory. So the Jones theory is I have got 2 games that fill a similar niche in my collection. If one of them I feel like I would play every time, I pick this one every time over the other one, then the other one's gone. Or a lot of times over the other one, the other one's gone. Now, there's some situations where I will enjoy multiple games that kind of fit the same niche, and I'll keep both of them. So this is going to not surprise Derek, but stealth games. Like, I love stealth games. I'm going to keep a lot of those guys. So, but as opposed to Derek, stealth.
Right.
Ooh, not a lot of those on the shelf.
All one-shot Euros and one-shot adventure games.
Yeah, Matthew, that's a good comment here.
Well,
you only buy board games you like. How do you let go of something like that? And
the answer to that is the next segment, which is so this is the when do you cull. We're going to get into the how do you cull, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Steve, I have a similar situation to you too. I also have that as well. You may know I like dungeon crawlers. So when I start getting other dungeon crawlers that I think are going to play better, or you go, or I don't feel are going to be filling any type of area anymore that I would be interested in, those go. Those are, and so, or even like adventure games and things of that nature. A lot of times, one of my friend Culling, he has explained to me that he'd be like, okay, that's great. Are you going to play that game again? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play that game when? I'm like, well, okay. Do you, like you said, do you like this game or do you like this game? Because they're very similar. They're similar, but there's one other thing that this one does that one doesn't do. Are you going to pick that game over the other one? I think I like this one better. So then we might not need this one. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're probably right. My wife is very excited about this new philosophy.
Well, I'll throw a wrench in that too, because I operate similarly, but how I collect board games is I like to have a board game that would fit anybody's preference or play style, right? Because my vision, my dream, whatever, is for me, board games is about the social experience. I want people to come over, I want to have a good time. And so I want to have a game somewhere on the shelf for anybody that could be here that I could pull off and they would likely enjoy it. And so even though some games may not be played a lot, I will still keep it because, one, I enjoy it because obviously I buy games I enjoy, kind of a selection bias there, right? But two, I want to have that ability. I want to always have something that someone will enjoy when they visit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with that as well. That's definitely something that makes me keep games that, like, I don't think I'll ever lose Quacks of Quacklenburg because every time we play this, it's a lot of fun. Now, of course, this one only because actually my family does enjoy this game. Anything my family enjoys is a keeper. They're called keepers.
Yeah, so
Keeper.
for my house,
Trappers.
for my
They're
house,
trapper
it's
keepers. Get it?
more
Get it? Trapper keeper.
trying to think.
That's funny.
For my how, it's more the am I gonna get it to the table? Because as a solo gamer, I don't have so for me it's just more I look at them and I'm like, am I gonna play this game? And I sit there and I gotta tell you, it takes me about 3 hours of sitting just looking at the shelf being like, am I gonna play this game, and being real with myself on, all right, this game delivered to you a year ago, you're not touching this. Or there was a game that was at that I picked up at Gen Con because I was like, oh yeah, first Gen Con, buy everything. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, this has been on the shelf since last Gen Con. You're not going to play this. Just get rid of it. So I've been, and I found that as I cull the games that are being left over fall into that category of one-off plays. I think I've got yes, I do have one campaign game, Arceus.
Trespass Odyssey.
And Trespass, sorry, two. And Trespass Odyssey and Arceus.
Arceus?
Arceus. Yeah, Arkeis.
That looks fun.
Yeah, so I saw that game when it was on Kickstarter, and I was like, this looks cool. There's a lot of representation in this game. The main character is black, so I'm super pumped about it.
It's a cool theme too.
And so but I missed the campaign. But Fred from Philly, Tiny, he sold me his copy, so I have that now, and I'm super pumped about it. But yeah, it's usually I look at the shelf and I say, am I going to play this game ever in life? And the answer is usually no, so it gets culled.
There's just one other thing that factors into this. Is it a game that means something to you? I will never call this game. I don't know how often I even play it anymore.
Look at that box. That is love.
The box has been through it.
That is love.
This is my favorite game. But this has been around since 1989, I think.
Box has been through it, boy.
Oh yeah, you want to see? Oh man, I mean, oh my god.
My Gloom of Killforth box is pristine. I don't even want to show you all that. Like, if I take it anywhere, I wrap it in bubble wrap.
Let's see if I still got. Yeah, here's the map. The map is like held together by packing tape. I mean, it's.
Oh, that's love. Yeah, that game is going nowhere.
Keep this stuff together so it didn't rip. So
if they release a second edition or whatever edition to that, would you buy it and get rid of that one, or would you hang on to both?
See, again, I would hang on to both because this one means so much. But it's funny you should mention that, because actually I did a playthrough of this. And somebody reached out to me and said, man, I love the fact that you've done this game. When you do classic games, there are some people that probably are just like me, that like, this is my baby. I've had this forever. I love this game. And they've obviously done enhancements to this game. He actually made a neoprene mat of that first room, the reactor room. And so he sent me, I paid him to make another one for me. And then I now have a neoprene mat of the reactor room that I can use the miniatures from Another Glorious Day in the core, because it's that big. So it's actually a gridded thing that holds 28 millimeter miniatures. So now I have that, and it's super fun. Will I ever get rid of this? No, but I'll probably always play that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so there are games in your collection, I'm sure, that, like you said, Gloom of Killforth. Steve has his Defenders of the Crown.
Defenders of the Realm. Yep.
Yep. Those will never leave our collection, no matter how outdated they get, no matter how much we don't play them versus play them, and we still play them. I mean, I play Aliens at least once a year, no matter what.
Yep.
A lot of times I play it more than that, and these are the games that will never leave, even though we could probably call them obsolete.
Well, and that's the first thing you need to do when you're talking about you want to call a game. You have to look at games that you're like, I first create the category of I love this game.
Yes.
Right. And when you create that category, put things in there. And it's not going to be everything. You're going to want it to be everything, but it's not going to be everything, because you do have to be honest with yourself in terms of saying, okay, do you love this game or do you just like it? And if you have love, put it in that. And those are keepers.
I want to call out a comment from Jan, because this is what I did, actually. Logging my plays has helped me realize what I do or do not play, because To be transparent, I don't log my plays anymore. Some of that has to do with just the app I was using stopped functioning for the phone I had at the time, and just stopped doing it. But I also felt like I eventually understood what I was seeking. So I was logging my plays to see what actually hit the table, and I was doing this earlier in my board game hobby, I would say. And now that have seen what games get played, I feel confident on what to go buy, and then also what games get played, which ones should I keep versus other ones I don't. Now that's not exactly a sole reason to determine culling, because, for example, campaign games, they will generally get played less than something that's standalone, right? Just due to the nature of it. But it doesn't mean that you would get rid of a campaign game you love versus a standalone game you like. So of course there's some nuance there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
That
agree with that.
that is something for sure. I've never logged plays, and like you said, it would probably be a very important thing to do, because I could definitely see that I do not need Founders of Gloomhaven in my collection, because it has logged 0 plays since I got it.
Yeah, the Matthew said, but what about the possibility of games being played in the future? And that's where I was saying you have to be honest with yourself, right? If the game's been sitting there for a year, nah, champ.
I kind
You're
of
not gonna get that game.
Interestingly enough, unless it's something that is going to be a rare commodity, out of print, things of that nature, there is a chance that, say, all of a sudden you're doing something and you meet somebody down the line who's like, "Oh, I really like these kind of games. I would love to play a game like this." You're like, "Oh, I don't have any games like that. I had a couple of those, but I got rid of them because nobody would play them with me." You can usually pick them back up. It's just because they leave your collection, you never have a chance at these games again. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Sometimes you might not. I know a lot of times we get them through Kickstarter, so it's like, "Oh, hey, I got this deal because I got the all-in 42 box Kickstarter edition." And all of a sudden now you're not able to get that. You're only able to get maybe the core game. But if the core game is still a fun game to play, and you don't need the 42 expansions that went with it to be able to play it and have fun, if sometime down the line somebody comes into your life that is interested in it, you could probably get that game back.
Yeah, yeah. And Cal033 said, if you lost all your games, would you reacquire the ones you are considering to cull? So funny, well, not funny story, sad story, but good ending. There was a guy on the whatever the big board game Facebook page, and I don't freaking know anymore. Anyway, so there was a guy on there who his house caught
Was
on,
that the one
like,
whose house flooded or
no,
something?
it caught on fire.
That
His
was
house
what it
burned
was.
down. His house
Yep,
burned
I
down,
remember reading that.
and he lost all his games in the fire. Like, everything burned down. That's the sad part. The cool part is that when he said that, he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for these specific games because these were, I'm willing to buy or whatnot." And the community actually gave him
mm,
those, like the ones. One of them that he was looking for was Deep Madness, and I gave him my all-in Deep Madness. So
That's awesome.
he got his collection back because the community is so amazing and was, you know, outreaching and helped him get his collection back up. And I say that to Bairnt's point of, even if you call something and you regret it, there's always a way to get it back.
yeah.
Right. There's the community is that I think it's big enough that if you go look on Facebook or eBay or something, there's someone who's willing to trade, someone who's willing to sell, for a decent price that you can find.
Yeah.
So it's out there, even if after you cull it, you're like, man, I really regret that.
Oh yeah. I also mentioned too, because I made this mistake. I had Mice and Mystics early on when it came out, and I enjoyed the game. At some point, I cooled on it, but I kept it because, you know what, this would be great for when my son gets older, so I'm gonna hang on to it. No, I do not recommend doing that, honestly, just because, like, you don't know if, like, younger
Yeah.
family members are, one, gonna be interested in the
Mhm.
first place, and two, maybe there's something new that comes out that's even better than that, which, often in our case, because our son loves Marvel United, so we play that a lot with him, for example, and he's at the age now where he'll play any game, honestly, which is
Mhm.
great. But, like, just a tip, like, I would not recommend keeping games in your collection just for
Just
the
cause, yeah.
purpose of it might get played by X person in the future when they're older.
Yep. That was my problem with a lot of games. That's why actually I have a whole, these up here are in my, you're getting close to leaving my house.
Yeah.
This is my
It's out of the way.
way up there. If the game doesn't come off this shelf within a year, then most likely it's going out the door.
Yeah, I see
What
Star
did they
Trek
dump
up there.
Derrick? What?
Well, okay, this one right here, I will say that this Star Trek game and the Clone Wars game, those are Cullen's games.
Yeah.
So he hasn't asked for them back yet. So if they don't play within a year, he's getting them back.
Well, that's might be how
called in his
Cullen calls.
direction.
That's another way to call games. You
Cullen.
give them to Cullen.
Cull.
Cullen calls them by not selling them. He gives them to me. That's how he calls games. And then if I don't play them within a year, then I call them back to him. And then I show up with them and he goes, I don't want those. I'm like, tough. He says sell them. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll sell them for you.
On Steve's point, I have about 10% of my 1,000+ games that I bought with my daughter playing them in mine. They're still in shrink, but I'm still holding out hope.
Hold on. Keep hope alive.
Prove me wrong,
Now-
Tiny. Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Now,
right.
Jan said something very interesting above that he at me on, where he said, I would say it's often true for the US. If you are away enough that it's a bit too crazy to acquire from there, the secondhand market doesn't have a lot of coverage. That's true.
That's a good point. Good point.
I could only speak from my experience, and I don't want to minimize anybody else's.
Agreed.
For me, it's more that if being in the US, that it there's a lot more availability, but people who live abroad or in wherever they are, it might be harder. Not impossible, but harder, right? If you're looking for a copy of a game that is in your specific language, that might not have that availability for you, so it becomes a lot more difficult to get. So I respect and get that.
I agree.
Nice, Emil. This is how I buy new
Sure.
cars. We might have to transfer these and these family members too. Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
It's funny because we definitely did that for our Kim's latest car because we and then well, at least this way we know we have a neighborhood bus parent thing where parents take turns driving the kids to and from school. So in the neighborhood, so
It's called a carpool in most places.
Wait! Did Bairnt just correct you? This guy on a moving road?
moving roads.
Moving
Called carpooling.
roads.
Kim called me
Everything I know is wrong. Everything I know is wrong.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
I was so looking for the word escalator and realized you'd go up things on that. I've got to think of the better word. Nope, running out of time. Just say things in your mouth.
So the next segment of this is we did the when, we did the how. Now we're gonna do the where.
Yeah.
If you're going to cull, what are your options?
Well, one is Colin. Just give him the game back.
So friends.
Friends. You can always
Friends.
give them to your friends.
Yep.
Actually, I find myself doing that a lot because we have kind of a little game group. It's Ted, myself, Brent, and Colin. And a lot of times we might be playing games. We might even try them together. And like I had Earth. And Brent messaged me and goes like, hey, I really had fun playing that Earth game. Do you mind if I borrow that from you? I'm like, borrow? You can just have it. Because if you ever want it back, I can just get it from you. You know what I mean? We have that usually. I mean, not everybody has this ability, but we have at least enough people in this little group that kind of some of the board games like move around, or we can just give them to these people and they can have them. If we ever want them back, we can get them back.
Yeah. My big one for here is, and I've said it a couple times, but is to donate to charities, places that do that. So there's a place here in Charlotte called Potions and Pixels. They started off just doing board game nights. I didn't even know about them. One of my employees actually put me onto it. And so when I went to one of those, I started talking with the owner and saw that they're trying to do more. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me see if this is just a talk or if they're doing it. And they actually were. They work with at-risk youth in Charlotte, giving them a space to do technology. They've gotten donations from Lowe's, Home Depot, and all these other places for like 3D printers and resin printers, and they have this space that they got as a donation, but you got to pay upkeep. where kids come in, they shuttle kids in, so they'll go pick them up at school, shuttle them in, help them do that stuff, and I donate my board games to them mostly, so that those kids can enjoy those games and play them. So they've gotten a lot of the culling from me. Others I sell to just have a board game budget because I'm not rich. So, but yeah, those are my mediums.
And you know what? Those are very good mediums. I have a similar medium. I may say, like you, there's a board game budget. My wife really just thinks it's just this number that's always in red. That just never seems to get green. The board game budget. So if there's a game, like say I get a big Kickstarter with like 42 boxes and all this stuff, and that one I might sell. I might try to sell it. Usually, I usually go through eBay just because I've always used the eBay platform since it's something I grew up with when I was young. It was our first thing. There's a lot of other places that you can use. There's like a Facebook page that's dedicated to board gamers that you can usually try to trade games with or sell games through. And it can be, and you can then find people more locally through that. There is the Board Game Geek site where you can use that to either sell or trade through. But similar to you, one thing that we've been doing is if there's a game I'm interested in selling, but it's not something that's really that feasible, or it's not going to be able to move the red number very far, but it's still a fun game, and it's maybe just oversaturated, like there's just not a market for it, or it wasn't like a Kickstarter that I don't want anymore. Those, like you said, we have a local gaming store called what is it called, the Battleground Cafe. And we actually went in there and asked, "Do you guys like take board games?" And he goes, "Yes," because they do have that kind of like
That wall.
they have the wall of you can play these games. One of them they have over there is Quacks of Quackenberg. Funny story. We've played this game more at Battleground Cafe, their copy, than we played my copy here, which is kind of funny because my son goes there to play Dungeons and Dragons. And so Robin, myself, and my other son, Bennett, we usually tag along and we'll sit at a different table and play some of the games from that shelf. So we now are able to give these games that we decided not to keep, like some of these games that don't leave here or go back to Colin's house may actually go to that shelf more often than not, just because that way other people have a chance at them. It's not really something that is going to help this red number go to green. So we might as well just get rid of them and have a place for somebody can just pull it off the shelf, find a game they may fall in love with. You never know. I mean, there's a chance that they could fall in love with something like
Bard Song. That's a tough one for you to say, isn't it? It hurts to say that, doesn't it?
Or maybe Descent. Notice Descent's not here anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Where did he go? Oh, Battleground might be playing it, right?
Yeah, Steve, what about you?
Kind of thing.
I'm not good at culling. I'll just put that there right now. So I tend to be pretty picky on what games I purchase, and then that makes it harder for me to cull because of that reason. However,
I hate you. I wish I had that.
Yeah,
I just look at a Kickstarter and go, "Oh my gosh, that looks so cool."
I'm not gonna read about it later. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Nope, I do not have that self-control.
I tend to be very picky, but I also buy games for channel. Right, it's something that's gonna be good for the channel. I don't see a lot of people covering. I will be more likely to buy it from that reason. But talking about culling games, you guys have stated a lot of the stuff that I was gonna mention already.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I got new stuff I'm gonna mention too.
Okay.
So there is a board game cafe near me, which is really close to me, which is awesome and also dangerous.
Was that the one you took me to?
Yes, but they weren't open because they were booked that day, right? Remember?
Oh, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, yes. Yep. But we'll go back there sometime. It's pretty nice. They have good food and open library, grab stuff off the shelf. They take donations, which is awesome. So I'll go there potentially. Obviously Facebook and Board Game Geek has already been mentioned for places to sell stuff. But the other one I'll mention is Honestly Friends. Like, if I have people come over, I like to host game nights, and they come over and, hey, these cool games, I like it. I'm like, hey, if you like this, would you be interested in this game? And I'll like, here, just take it. No big deal, right? But for me specifically, and I think you guys might agree with me, if I get a review copy, basically for free, right? I mean, we're doing work to cover it, right? It's not necessarily free, but whatever. Free review copy.
No
won't
monetary exchange.
What's that?
No monetary exchange.
Yes, no monetary exchange. Thank you. I don't sell those games, right? I don't try and make a profit on that. Instead, I'll just give it away. So that's another thing I try to do as well. So if I get something free in a review copy, I'll try to give it away free for the same reason.
Yep, I pass those on along to usually other creators that are interested in the game.
Yep.
I've done that. I've sent some to William so that he's been able to do some coverage on some of the games. And then, or else it is like you said, it's at Battleground Cafe right now, hanging out.
Yeah.
No, Jen was saying, I don't need the cull. I just assembled a 5x5 calyx.
That's awesome.
That's
Those
like
are great.
This is how it starts, Jen. This is how it starts.
I love my family, but I need them to get rid of the crap downstairs so I can put my crap. The kids have 2 huge giant like things that are full of like their toys and Legos and things of this nature. I'm like, oh, I can hardly wait till those go away and I can just put more calyxes up.
So you're just trying to fill the space.
Just a room full of calyxes.
Just a room full of calyx shells.
I'm sure that
you know who has that. I don't know if y'all seen that, and he's in the chat here. I saw him talking, but Tiny, he has an entire room that he transformed into a board game space, wall to wall. I'm talking about floor to ceiling, wall to wall calyx shelves. And nothing but games on them. Like he shared a couple pictures with the community before in the past. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. Right in the middle, a gaming table.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's
like
amazing.
It is gorgeous.
I guarantee you that when this dream of mine happens, it will not happen. I'm sure that it will not come to fruition.
Well, not with that attitude.
Well, I have a feeling my wife has other plans with what's going to happen to the basement once the kids don't need it anymore.
Ryan, room full of calyx? So you mean paradise?
That's right.
Yes.
Y'all have to see the pictures of it. It is every single time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's gorgeous.
Yep.
Have you seen the speaking of storage areas? Have you seen Game Boy Geeks? His game area?
Is that the one where he's got like this hidden room where he can go inside? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
It's like a what do you call that thing? A
trap door.
A secret door,
a safe room or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like a safe room. Yeah.
Where you just go into the safe room and close the door and just play board games.
No, it's amazing. He's got wall to wall and everything. He's a super nice guy, by the way. I've had the pleasure of playing games with him. Really, really cool. And he plays saxophone. Big plus.
Oh, nice. I do not. I play things with my hands. I play bass, guitar, drums.
Wait, you don't play the saxophone with your hands?
Well, no, you play it with your mouth.
You play with everything but your left thumb.
True. I can't play anything with my mouth. I can play all instruments with my hands.
I play saxophone. That's how I know the stuff. So
yeah, I can't play saxophone. I can't play any woodwind.
Wait, Steve, you play saxophone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kenny G in the house, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
I love jazz band. Jazz band was amazing.
For Christmas now, don't you? You know what he's getting for Christmas? He's getting that Just Saxy game or whatever from. Didn't they make that game with who's the saxophone player you just met? Kenny G. Didn't they make that Kenny G board game? Didn't you see that one?
No.
You've never seen this board game? Oh my gosh, I gotta find this. Oh my gosh. Here.
Kim.
Matthew. Oh.
Yeah. There's
You've never seen this game. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got to figure out how to do this, and I'm going to make it happen.
It should be able to be pasted in the chat.
I'll tell you this much, Yan. If we ever do a band, I will not be singing because I value guys' ears more than anything else. So when your own mom tells you you can't sing, you know it's bad.
How about that? Kim and Robin can sing. How about that?
There you go.
Here, how do I do this? How do I share my screen?
Share your screen.
I'm not prepared to put it on the stream, so it won't matter.
Yes, I'm not prepared. Okay, fine. I'll do it the hard way.
Just drop it in the chat. All right, so the mediums are selling them, and when I say sell them, it's up to you what you want to sell for. Mine
you are
is
totally getting this game for Christmas.
Keeping it sexy. What the actual hell?
It is a game.
How did you happen upon this?
How did you not know about this? This is like the greatest game of all time. See, it's right here. Keeping it sexy.
Oh my goodness.
says here, use the power of jazz to win the day. Help Kenny G, the world-renowned saxophone superstar, keep his groove through a hectic day. Work together to overcome. See, it's cooperative. Work together to overcome uncool events, detangle those luscious locks, and avoid rush hour traffic without missing a brassy beat. It's a soothing combo of strategy and cooperation, and I expect it to be played on your channel.
What's going on here? I thought you were joking.
What's your address, Steve? It's coming by Amazon tomorrow. And you can't pull it.
I had to go on mute. Oh my god.
Can you believe they made a game like that?
Will this be streamed? What is happening?
See, look, did you think that telling us you played saxophone was going to be so much fun?
Oh my gosh. Why would someone make that? Like I just want to understand like the game design process. Someone's just like, you know what's missing?
Yep. And you know what? I'm going to shop this around. I'm sure somebody will pick this up. Oh yeah, somebody produced this game. Somebody thought this was a good idea after somebody pitched it. That's the part.
Oh my god!
Undo his luscious locks and prevent him from being caught in rush hour traffic. It's gonna be a blast, man.
I just want to understand what someone was thinking when they were like, "This is gonna be a board game."
That's right.
We are on our way to have a game for everything.
Everybody wants Kenny G, right? Right. So
that's true. There's a Justin Bieber and Bob Ross game. That's true.
No.
Yes.
Stop it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so next week we're gonna have a topic called worst themes. This game might come back.
There is a Justin Bieber board. No, I refuse to believe that this exists.
All right, here it comes.
You were drunk in 1985. Yes, probably. Oh gosh.
Oh my word.
Well, you're in luck. This game is doing so well. It is $10 on eBay.
Backstage
oh my gosh.
Pass.
Yep. You can buy it for $10 on eBay.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
See, the things you live a sheltered life. You should know about these. You learn about all the good things in board games. You need to learn about
I feel that with this, the comet is imminent to hit this planet because we peaked. Right? There's nowhere else left to go.
Nope. This is it.
No, it's not it, because Justin got a backstage message for you in his backstage pass board game. Be the first backstage before your friends beat you there. That is what you have to do. Prove you've got the lowdown on Justin's life and his music. Correctly answer the questions. As you race through the concert hall, Justin's secret message is waiting for you backstage.
They've used the word backstage like way too much.
Oh yeah.
Board games are done. We're done.
Don't forget this. It is fast and fun. Justin's trivia will keep you and your friends guessing to see who is the biggest fan.
Wait, so it's like Trivial Pursuit.
It's Trivial Pursuit, Justin Bieber style. So that doesn't count because that doesn't count. I didn't realize that. It got worse all of a sudden.
But the Kenny G.
No, that's a real deal. It's a cooperative game. We have to fight through traffic and uncurl his luscious locks.
Is that actually verbiage on the box?
Yes, they just said
it. I think you just killed Derrick.
It says here, work together to overcome uncool events. Detangle those luscious locks and avoid rush hour traffic.
What does that have to do with Kenny G?
Because he has to do this without missing a brassy beat.
Oh boy, guys. Okay.
What is rush hour traffic? Anyway,
we've gone way off track.
If I start asking questions, the whole thing falls apart. Let's get back on track.
Next week on the co-op shop stream channel, Steve will be playing Just Saxy.
Oh my gosh.
Did you think telling us you played this a saxophone was going to make so much fun, Steve?
Oh, look at Kim.
Kim's on it now.
I'm sold now. This Kenny G thing does have to happen.
Totally. You want to know how many people you'd get watching that playthrough? Thousands.
Two.
Oh, two.
I think you'll get thousands because first off, I don't think anybody's played it on live, and two,
Oh.
people just have to come to
Oh,
watch
boy.
a train wreck of a game like that.
Whew. Okay, sorry, Jan.
Hey, Jan's got a good question. Let's get back on topic.
Okay,
here.
go ahead. Pull it back. Oh my god. Sorry.
What was the most games you've culled at once? Oh, I don't do package culls. At least I haven't yet. Like here's 6 games. So for me, it's like
You're
individually.
playing for extra life, Steve. That is a great idea.
Yeah, it could be for
Extra
extra
life.
life.
That's what you're doing.
I'll
Love
definitely do for extra life for sure. Which is happening for sure. It's coming up. I'm already thinking about plans for it. So
The most games I've called at once 30.
30 at one time.
Yep, I cleared an entire Calyx shelf.
That's impressive. How did you manage that?
I just because it had gotten to. I think I had just moved into this place, and I had gotten the Calyxes. This was the first time I got the Calyx shelves, and as I was setting them up, I was putting stuff in, and I was still having tons of stuff on the floor. So I was like, "Call time." 30.
I almost called one. Nice, Jen.
I almost called one.
We're similar in that regard.
Look at Tiny's. Tiny said the most I called at once was 500 through a fire sale. 500.
500.
Wow. I don't think I ever had 500 board games in my collection.
I told you his collect. You have to see. Tiny, can you post a picture in my Discord so I'll share it with Steve and Bairnt so they can see your amazing setup. Like
I would love to see that.
It is an amazing setup.
My problem is most of my games I have don't fit in Calyx shelves.
Is that true?
Like Shadows of Brimstone doesn't fit. Frosthaven doesn't fit.
Frosthaven and Gloomhaven fit in the typical.
Well, they stick out.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't sit flush, right?
No, and I can't get Kingdom Death in there. I can't get Aeon Trespass Odyssey in there. What else can't get? Bard Song.
Sounds like somebody who knows how to work with wood should make shelves for these bigger games.
Or a table.
Great idea.
Or a table.
Somebody do that. I heard that they have a laser engraving system now.
Yeah, if only they would. And what's their website that you can go to?
Something like I've Got Wood or something.
King's Queen Woodworking. Yeah.
King's Queen Wood.
So
not even
we're just hinting at my wife does a lot of woodworking, so we've been talking about different projects. That would be a good one to do, though.
That's right, Jan. Exactly.
You had 2,500 games and now down to about 1,000. Wow, Tiny, that's impressive. That's impressive.
You got to see the room. I tell y'all, it's Nerdvana. It's great.
We cleaned out our games one time, and because we're like cleaning out, we have like upstairs. We actually have an area for kids games and stuff. So we cleared out all the kids games. We brought most of those to. Another place you can go to get rid of games. Half Price Books.
I've never heard of that. Tell me about that.
Is it a local thing only? Maybe
it might be. I haven't heard of it.
Is a store. You must not have one. Half Price Books. You can bring pretty much anything you want. You can bring video games. You can bring movies. You can bring comic books. You can bring books. You can bring anything you want. If you just want to get rid of it, and they'll take it, and they'll give you almost nothing for it, but you don't have to deal with it anymore.
You're getting rid of it. You're done.
It's a way to get rid of games. Yeah. For example, we had like I was about to mention these kids games. Even Battleground Cafe is like, we don't really have that kind of demographic that comes in here all that often. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. So then we brought in Half Price Books. It's like, I don't want to deal with this, and so we just give them the Half Price Books. You don't get much for them, but it's another place where you can cull games. You can get rid of them, and they have a whole section of like games you can buy. They even have some really old ones that I've never seen there. It was really awesome. Actually, you got this. Oh my god.
You all right?
Half Price Books. We got this from Half Price Books. The Alien role-playing game.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And of course, everything there is discounted because it's all used stuff that it's basically going to like a used video game store, which you're going to a used book game store. They have board games. They've got their main thing is books. So they've got books and books and books and books and books, like lots of books. And then they have a small place for video games, small place for movies, and then a small place for board games. And you can get. I usually go there to check out what they have. for board games, which is kind of
Cool.
neat because they have a lot of people. I mean, I actually saw a Gloomhaven copy there, new, ready to go.
Oh, nice.
One other thing I'll also mention is my local game store, Game Theory. They have a game bazaar, which is really nice. That's what they call it. And the game bazaar is they open up their floor space in the store, and you can set up a table and sell your games in the store. Now, the kicker is
Oh.
you don't get the money, you get store credit instead.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Which makes sense, right? Because you're using their space, right? So,
Right. And they've got stuff you could buy there that you want.
exactly. So, because whatever price you want, you
paint.
get the profits, but you get store credit instead. So,
Okay.
Like paint.
yeah. So that's a cool way, another cool way of doing it. I did also want to mention one other thing, being back to culling, the first topic actually. Sometimes I will cull games based upon how big they are. Snow will probably like this comment. So I am a collector of Tiny Epic games, which are really nice because they're really small boxes. And if I have a game that the Tiny Epic series emulates a bigger version of it, I don't play the big version of it very much, I'll get rid of that and just say, you know what, I've got the Tiny Epic version, I'm good. So,
Steve, you have to stop talking about these. Because then my wife keeps saying every time I go upstairs after a conversation like this, she goes, "You should really look into those Tiny Epic games. Why don't we have I think they sound like a lot of fun. Steve really likes those. We should get some of those."
Yep.
So you should get some of those then, yes?
Nope. I like my Giant Kingdom Death Monster box. I guarantee you that's not in Tiny Epic form.
There is a store that is national.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
I know this store is
That's
national.
all of them.
Not all of them. They don't all fit in there.
It's called Second and Charles. I've seen it up north, and I've seen it up north as far as New York. I've seen it in Charlotte, but I don't know if it's in the southern states. But in the U.S., there's a store that's called Second and Charles, and it's like that store you're talking about, Bairnt, where you could bring games, you could buy games used, that type of thing. Like you said, they'll pay you next to nothing for it, but if you want to get rid of it, they'll do that and resell.
I mean, because if you think about it, a lot of the times when it comes to if you, like, I bring it to a place that doesn't want it, or I don't have anybody that's interested in it, that's the place I'll go last, because by that time I've realized that it's really, I don't want it. I don't want it in my house, and it's taken, and it's not worth anything. Like, selling on eBay is more of a pain than anything else, or even like putting it up somewhere. So by that time, that's when it's just, or if you're in liquidation mode and you get done like going through an entire area and just like, let's take all this stuff. Like, okay, we're taking like 48 books, 2 video games, like, and all this stuff, just there it goes out the door.
Yeah.
There's one other question I want to ask you guys.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you considered, or have you done it, just recycling games and not just get them out of the house, effectively destroying the game?
No.
Once.
Nope.
One time. That was
and the reason why I say no for me is because somebody else can get enjoyment from that. For me, recycling is good. Recycle, do what you need to do. But I always think of the reason why I got in the hobby, and I'm not saying everybody's story would be mine, but somebody might be going through something, and getting a free game to play to kind of take your mind off of it's where my head goes immediately before it even goes to, all right, I'm just going to dump this in the trash.
Yep.
Mine was a prototype of a game that basically was a print and play that they just sent me, and I was like, do you want this to go somewhere? Do you want me to send it back? No, do whatever you want with it. Well, the Kickstarter funded, so I am going to ditch this.
Yeah, I usually just send it back to them anyway.
Yeah, definitely Legacy Games Recycle.
Legacy
Jan's got a good one,
I was
though.
going to say, I have a lot of exit games that have gone into the trash.
That's fair.
Those are
I've
different.
never bought a Legacy Games, usually on Tabletop Simulator where I play them. Probably for that reason, because the thought of tearing up cards terrifies me.
That's super fun.
So, Jan,
It's super fun to watch people just die inside as you do it.
You're an evil man.
It is a lot of fun.
I'm with Jan here, though. Like, if there's a game that it's hard to get rid of, or for whatever reasons, I use the word cannibalize it. Cannibalize it for parts, and use it for like pimping out other games, right? Or improving other games with components or whatever, or Sometimes even with prototyping, right? If you're playtesting stuff, you can use that stuff that in that sense. So
Oh, I couldn't even use this. It was like all stuff cut out on
I mean,
paper.
even with the legacy stuff, I didn't throw that stuff away right away. I kept the cards because at the time, my son was really young, and I was like, you know what? He could play with these cards. If he destroys them, I don't care because they're legacy cards anyway, right?
Mm,
So this is a good
yeah.
way of introducing proper handling of cards and
So,
stuff, and
yeah.
not
So
worry.
that gets broken down into different levels, right? So if it's a game that your kid kind of shredded, recycle it. There's
Right,
nothing you can do about it. All right, and
right.
cannibalize it for parts where you can. If it's like, oh, this board game off my shelf, I will never play, trash. That's where I'm like, no, donate that
That I
or
don't do. That
sell
could
that. If it's a preview copy, if you're a content creator and it's a preview copy that someone sends you, then it's more I just pirate ship the label and send it right back. I'm not gonna, if they're like throw it away, I'm like, no, this is your property. So I don't. I guess when it comes to recycling a game, it depends on what stage it's at, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I also like idea from Steve where he talks about cannibalizing. See this game right here? You know how many cool miniatures are in this game?
A lot.
I
There
use
are a
these
lot
in
of.
Dungeons and Dragons all the time.
Yeah.
Did I play the game? I haven't played the game since I put it on my channel, but I use this a lot for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, usually Jen says, well, example, cheap Chinese checkers game. I'm not going to go through the work of selling and shipping it to the other side of the country. No, but locally you can just donate it to your library.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, it's out of your hands, it's gone, and
Yep.
people in the library who come to the library can play them some Chinese checkers and enjoy it.
I mean, if they destroyed through play, then it got used
And
at
then
least, right?
but you've done, you've
Mm-hmm.
culled it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I mean, we're not going to sit here and tell you don't. If you were like, no, screw that, I want to throw it in trash, and throw it in trash or
Yep.
recycle it. Well,
Yep.
recycle it, right? Don't throw it in trash, but
Don't
recycle
throw
it.
the trash. I heard Ken just say he's all about throwing things in the trash. Trash, he says.
So we won't tell you like what to, but we're just giving you options, right? If it's like, well, there's nothing I can really do with it, that's not true. You can take it to your classroom, right, for teachers to have for kids.
Oh yeah,
To the library. Jen's a teacher, so so is
so is my
Robin.
wife.
Yeah, so is Robin. So classroom for teachers, library for use, non-for-profits who accept, board game cafes who pick it up, and then if you're like, I don't want to do all that, I want to make some money, eBay, BGG, and Facebook that you can
There
sell.
are some Kickstarters that we've double backed because we have a copy for home. For example, what is it? The oh darn it, I am totally blanking on this. Robin's gonna know exactly right off the top of her head what game this is. It's the one where the father and daughter made the game together.
Core Quest.
Thank you.
Quest.
Cora Quest. We have both. We have 2 copies of Cora Quest. We have 2 copies of the other one coming. And there's a lot of other games we've done this with because she actually does run the board game group at school. And so she then has a copy for these at school. She has like Werewolf for there. She's got the Cora Quest. She's got a few other games as well. And she's been really excited because this would be something that you would see would be really awesome for you to see, Derrick, because what it did was she works at an inner city school, and it's so much fun for her to watch all these different groups of people that normally don't interact together be able to play these games together and really work together. But then outside
so
this,
cool.
they really don't hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
board
it's
games
really
brings
cool to see
people
them all
together.
come together like that.
Yeah,
And
I love it.
And they're like, and they're talking strategy, and they're like, no, don't do that because you got to do this. And then of course after that, they go back with their friends that they normally hang out with in their classes and stuff. But then
it really brings people together. I love how board games bring people together.
Yes,
I think it's
and
fantastic.
and so she's been trying to, and so this game group has been getting bigger and bigger, and it's nice to see. And she keeps bringing, and so we keep trying to fund games that she can bring that the kids of her grade level would enjoy that aren't competitive again. Because once you get competitive, people are things at each other, things like this. Where once you get the cooperative, they're all working together. It's fun to see.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Glad you like this, right?
Cool. Okay, I think that's probably a good note to end on.
Cool.
It is. I ended on a good note.
Yeah.
That's my joke.
And now that is captured for history. I just want you to know that.
I can't take credit for that at first.
That and Kenny G make it sexy.
Right? That right. That and sexy. Making it sexy. Keeping it sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get a shirt now that says keeping it sexy. I'm wearing it next time.
Come on, Comet. We're done. We're done here.
I'm going to cull it. I'm going to cull it to Colin and let him play it.
Okay. So let's talk about what's coming up on your channels. Derek, how about you start?
Today after the stream at noon, I will be painting with friends, to which Bairnt refuses to join.
Anytime, man. You tell me when.
I will be painting more of Shovel Knight. I got a the creator sent me the minis. I have the board game, but the creator sent me the minis, and I told them I would paint it on stream. So they're all primed and ready to be painted. So I'll be painting that at noon. Tomorrow I'm continuing the campaign of Path to Carcosa with Kate and Cynthia. That we'll be playing. Tuesday, Isofarian Guard, as I have returned. Thursday, Rogue Angels. Friday, Marvel United. Sorry, Marvel Champions. God, I've played a lot of Marvel United. Marvel Champions. And Saturday Co-op Chat. So a lot to do. Bairnt, what are you doing?
Not even close to that. Not even close. Let's see here. Today I'm going to clean the house, and then I'm going to play some Dungeons and Dragons later. Sunday I'm going to watch football. I mean, you have like something every day, so I got to talk about something every day.
Well, the season, yeah. Well, I've been so football this season. Sorry, we're gonna off topic for a quick second. This season is my first season watching football after. So
really?
I need to know. I'll watch a game with you. I don't care. So we'll see.
I can polo you the whole time.
Sweet. Right,
He will too.
For real, what I'm doing Monday, I've got actually Sunday is Feast for Odin. That is the one I lost the bet on. So that is actually going to drop.
Okay.
I lost the bet because the Vikings lost the Eagles last year, and it's taken. I said I would have that game ready before the football season started. Yes, technically started Thursday, but the Vikings play on Sunday, so I'm going to drop it Sunday at noon when the game starts, and so it's kind of my tribute to that. They then, of course, play the Eagles next week on Thursday night, and I might make the same bet again and probably lose again. So anyway, that is playing because I don't do Euros, and this is a huge Euro game, so it was kind of fun to play. Polyomino Euro game was kind of cool. It has to drop on Sunday. I've got a channel announcement on Monday because I haven't done my 8,000 subscriber channel update yet. I have to do that, so that's going to drop on
8,000. Woohoo!
Yeah, well, it's been a while. I've actually had that for a little while, and I'm so slack.
Oh, royalty, you're just used to it. 8,000.
Just used to it.
I've had that for a while. Derek, move on.
Nothing to do. Just keep going. Peasants out. Then
Peasants out.
Then on Monday, that's right. We moved our live stuff to Tuesday. So Tuesday we're going to continue Kid Fire with Colin live. And then also I have I'm going to probably record another Kingdom Death video. I'm going to try to get one of those done once a week until I run out of miniatures, and I got to make more miniatures and paint them because it's a paintable game. I was talking to this with Derrick beforehand. It's a paintable game. You can, as you go, you create the miniatures and paint them, as opposed to an unpaintable game where you have 50,000 miniatures that can just poop out on the table at once, and you're like, oh, you never know what's going to come on the board. Those are unpaintable games. Deep Madness is similar to that vein. What else do I got? I'm going to talk to you guys, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah? Any plan on it?
That's the goal. And I'm going to be cheering for about every underdog team this week in football because I think I've got a person on every losing team in my fantasy football league.
Sweet.
So I got a good chance of winning this year.
Steve, what do you got?
Going back to Kinfire Chronicles, I think Monday. So we'll do another play of that one because I think I'm trying to remember if the next scenario kind of wraps up the full picture of that game. So I want to get that full picture in before we stop those plays.
What are you doing?
Just the second quest.
Yeah, that actually does a pretty good job.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that covers the rest of the game, so we won't cover that one. And then Kim requested Marvel United because we haven't played it in a little bit. Woohoo! So we're gonna bring that back to the channel, and we're gonna do I'm gonna do the Mr. Sinister as a hero. So we haven't shown that yet. So
if you need a villain, I could recommend a few.
I will definitely take your recommendations.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll be back.
All right. I think that's going to end it for tonight. I guess Bairnt already left, so okay.
Peasants out.
Peasants. He's let the peasants wrap it up, so it's fine, right? Okay, well, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you at the next stop.
Damn it.
Oh my god.